Hi everybody. I thought it might be quite nice to do a little video talking about my saxophone. The reason I thought that was if any of you are interested in the saxophone. I started playing quite a long time ago. I was 16. But for years before that, I'd never actually seen a sax up close. I'd mostly seen them on TV if I was watching music on TV and people were playing, and I was always fascinated by them. If you look at this is my alto sax, it's got quite a lot going on. And when you just sort of see this really strange, mysterious instrument playing, I really wanted to know more about how it worked. So I thought I'd just talk a little bit about that today. The first thing, comedy sax moment, is the giant pipe cleaner thing, which I keep inside of mine, and it's called a pad saver. And if you think about it, you're blowing into this instrument, it gets pretty gross, a lot of condensation from breath. So this sort of just sort of helps to keep the pads in the sax in good shape. But what are pads, you may ask? Well, if I show you this sax close up, it's got lots of valves on it. So there are all these sort of circles, and behind those circles there are like leather circles called pads, and it just helps to, when you close one of those valves, it'll just mean that it seals properly and you don't get any squeaks. It's so that no air can escape. And if you start to get squeaks on your sax, flutes as well have pads. There are a lot of instruments, oboes, all kinds of wind instruments that work in this way will have like little pads on, and if the pads are going, you can end up with sounds that you don't want in your instrument. So that's what the pad saver's for. So anyway, this is my alto saxophone. I also have the next size up, which is a tenor, and basically a tenor has a lower range of sounds. A lot of them will cross over with this, but it just goes a lot lower, and it's an instrument that's in a different key. This is an E-flat instrument. The tenor sax is a B-flat instrument. So it's quite simple. If you've ever seen a clarinet being put together, there's about 5 pieces, I think. With this one, you have the main body of the instrument. You have the little top bit that fits on there, and then you have your mouthpiece, and this is the bit that you blow into. So in order to get the sound, you need to put one of these onto the mouthpiece, and this is called a reed. And when you blow, this vibrates against the mouthpiece, and your breath basically goes all the way down and out through the sound hole at the bottom, and that's what makes the sound. And we change the sound of the tone by pressing the keys and holding them to get a lower sound. So if we start here, that note is a B note, and as we keep our fingers on and we go down, the notes get lower and lower. But it'll be better if I actually demonstrate that. So you want the reed to be like nice and wet. So I'm going to suck on it for a minute or so. Always helps. And then you've got to line your reed up with the end of the mouthpiece. Try and get it as straight as possible. And then this is the clasp, which fits onto my mouthpiece. Sometimes these are made out of metal. This is actually a leather one. So you've got to get the clasp on, line up the reed, and then you tighten the little screw. Could be better. One moment. This is the fiddliest part of playing the saxophone, getting your reed right. So that's the mouthpiece. And then if I blow on this, so you put it into your mouth, and it's sort of like spitting out a pip. Woo! So that's very high pitched. If I put it onto the top part of the sax, you can hear the tone has gone a lot lower. And then when I attach it to the saxophone itself, let's tighten it up. Also, I have a strap that fits around my neck, because believe me, you do not want to drop your saxophone. And once it's all ready. So this note here I'm playing, if I just press down that note with that one finger, that's a B. If I press down the next note, so we've got B, A, this is an A note. And then if I put my third finger down, we play a G. And if I keep going, the notes get lower and lower. However, if you want to go higher from the B, if I then press that one on its own, that's a C note. And then if I put on the D, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, on the back of the saxophone, this is a thumb plate, but you'll see there's a funny little sort of pointy key on the back, and that's an octave key. And if I press that octave key and I play the D note, which is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fingers, that's a D. But if I take the octave key off, you can change and go up to the next octave. Okay, so I'm going to play you a scale of D major, and I'm going to play you the 2 octaves. So to get that very high D, we have some keys up here. These are like palm keys. So if I've got my thumb on the octave key, and then I use my palm to press that note, that plays a high D. And then as you can see, there are lots of other keys. Down here we've got some keys for your little finger to play. There are some little finger keys here as well. So it looks like quite a complicated instrument. There's a lot going on. But it's like everything, you just learn it a little bit at a time, and eventually you can just sort of make a lot of noise with it. Okay, so that's the saxophone.